evening. Yesterday we started with the new lesson, so that is early nationalist. So yesterday's class I had given you introduction regarding early nationalist. As you all know, the Indian national movement was carried out through three phase of national movement. The first phase of national movement was carried out by an early nationalist, that is from 1885 to 1905. So yesterday itself I said we will be going one by one. So yesterday just I started about early nationalist, or I started to talk about early nationalist. You all know yesterday you might have come to know who are these early nationalists, what sort of people they are. So that and all yesterday's class we had discussed. Then I also brought out some personalities like Dadabhai Naoroji, Surendranath Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee, Gopalakrishna Gokhale, the four major or prominent the personalities of early nationalist. We had discussed in the last class. So today's class I just want to tell you the methods of early nationalist. They started the first phase of national movement in India by 1885 onwards. By 1885 to 1905, the way they approached the British, that's nothing but methods. Okay, the way of approach the British towards a British by a group of leaders, they are nothing but early nationalists. That way they approached the British people, we call it as methods of early nationalist. Okay, so let us see. Here you can see I have written many methods, almost like 9 methods are here. Okay, so let us see one by one. The first method we call it as the early nationalist leaders, they held meetings. As much as possible, they conducted meetings in India from 1885 to 1905. The main aim of having a meeting is, you can see here, to arouse political consciousness. Okay, to arouse political consciousness, the meeting was held by an early nationalist. Now we may have a question. What is that a political consciousness? Okay, the political consciousness is nothing but a self-government. Okay, that political consciousness is nothing but self-government. Okay, early nationalist people conducted a meeting. So in that meeting they started to speak about a self-government. That self-government and spreading in India, that's nothing but political consciousness. Okay, that was the first method, the meetings. That was the first method, okay, which we are having. A second method, if you see, speeches. Okay, the second method they made through the early nationalist what? Speeches. Okay, orating. Especially like the leaders started to give various speeches. So through the speeches they started giving information. Okay, what is happenings? Okay, happenings. the happenings in India. So that was given in the form of information through the speeches. Okay, so this is the second method which they used. Third method, if you see, made use of press, newspaper and journals. Press, newspaper and journals, they are called as weapons to Indian national movement, because there were no sources to us to tell about the Indian national movement. Okay, the only source we had was, that is, press, newspaper, journals. Okay, these early nationalist people, they made use of these three sources. For what? To criticize the wrong policies of British government. Okay, what are the policies? What type of policies the British people are introducing? Okay, so all that policies, wrong policies or wrongdoings of British government was published by an early nationalist through press, then newspapers and journals. Okay, so this was the third method. The fourth was criticize peaceful manner. Okay, criticize a peaceful manner. Okay, early nationalists, they said, if you want to fight against the British, if you want to criticize the British, criticize it through a peaceful manner. That's nothing but they wanted to tell about path of non-violence. No revolutionary method, no violence method should be used against the British. Instead of that, the peaceful manner should be used. This is a one type of method, so which they expressed through the, the first phase of national movement by an early nationalist. Then the very important method, so that is the 3Ps method, one of the famous methods of early nationalists. What is this 3Ps? If you see, prayer, petitions, protest. Okay, prayer, petitions and protest. This is the one of the most important weapon, so which was used by the early nationalist from 1885 to 1905. Okay, this is one of the most first and foremost important method. Okay, approaching British people through a prayer, through the petition, giving a petition and protesting, protesting against the British through a peaceful manner. Okay, this is one more method which we are having. Then next, second most important method, so that is constitutional method. This is the second important method. Constitutional methods. Okay, constitutional methods. Okay, we are fighting for a self-government. Okay, that should have some value. That value we can get to our freedom or to the India's freedom. That value can get it, or the freedom of our country. Okay, or the freedom that we get it from a British, that should have some value. That value can get it only when you follow the constitutional methods. Okay, that's the next important method we are having. Next, if you see, the methods they used was, that is held discussions and processions. Okay, discussions and the processions. Okay, so this is the next method, so which they used. Okay, the early nationalists used to discuss what are the things happening in our country. Okay, in a group. Okay, then processions. In order to spread the Indian national movement, they created a procession. Okay, procession, I hope everybody know. Usually we all do it on the Environment Day. Okay, some of the occasions we use the processions by holding some slogans. So like that, the early nationalists used even a procession as one of the method. Even a discussion of the Indians' problem also they used in the form of one method. Okay, that is the one thing. Then the third very important, that was resolutions. Any action if you are taking against the British people, any actions if you are taking against the British people, first you send them a resolution in the form of a petition. In the form of a petition, a written note, resolution, you send it. Okay, let your protest against the British people will be decided through the resolution. What method we should use. Okay, that is the one aspect so which we are having. Then distribution of pamphlets. Okay, I mean leaflets. Leaflets means it's like a sheet of information. It's just a single sheet of information. Okay, it's a single sheet of information. Leaflets. Okay, pamphlets is nothing but it's almost like booklets. Okay, small booklets. Okay, which we are having. These two also they used it for the spread of the Indian national movement. Okay, so in this 3PS method, constitutional method, and resolution. These are the three most important, methods which they used it from 1885 to 1905. Okay, to carry out the Indian national movement. Okay, so these are the methods the early nationalist people used it. So now let us see by using these methods, okay, how the British people, were attacked by an early nationalist, or how the British people were approached by an early nationalist by using these methods. That's nothing but we are going to study as a topic called demands of early nationalists. Okay, demands of early nationalists. So we are going to see. Let's see what are the demands they made it by using these methods, whether they were successful or not. So that and all. So we will see when we talk about the demands of an early nationalist. Okay, so this about the methods of early nationalists. So keep in mind 3PS method, constitutional method, and resolution. They are the most three important method which was used by an early nationalist. Okay, now let us see about the demands. So demands of early nationalist. Okay, uh, by using various types of methods, the early nationalist people, okay, the early nationalist, okay, they had certain demands from 1885 to till 1905. Okay, so they put out various types of demands so before the British people. Okay, so in that there are four demands which was approached by an the British, which was approached by an early nationalist towards the British government. So in that first demand we call it as an economic reforms. Okay, so to remove poverty. Okay, so to remove poverty in India. So what are the economic reforms? What are the economic demands they put before an British government? So that we are going to see here in the economic reforms. Then a civil rights. It will tell about the freedom. Okay, civil liberty or civil liberties. The individual's freedom we are going to see here. So in that case, early nationalist people, what are the civil rights they asked? For a British government. So we are going to see here. Then the constitutional, reforms. Okay, the constitutional reforms under the British government. Okay, if you are seeing, so this will be telling about, okay, our functioning. Okay, our function under British government. Okay, so what kind of functioning the British government should have in India by keeping an Indians. That's nothing but legislative council. Okay, it completely tells about the legislative councils. Then about the administrative reforms, basically the administration, the changes of administration. So how it should take place. Okay, what kind of administration we should have, that we are going to see here. Okay, but before that, the main aim, okay, the main aim of all this, for the objectives or 1885 to 1905, the early nationalists, why did they put before the British people these four several demands. By putting these demands, what they thought, okay, if the British people fulfill these demands, so what is the changes that is going to take place. So to keeping two intention, these demands were put before the British government. So what are the two intentions? If you see, the first intention, okay, the first intention of this was one, that is full self government. Okay, full self government. And the second intention, okay, the second intention was, okay, the second intention was to criticize the British government policy. British government policy. They thought that if these demands are fulfilled, we will be having full self-government and easily we can criticize the government policies of British in India. So keeping these two intention as the main aim, these demands were planned by the early nationalists. So next class we will see one by one. So in that you will come to know, so what are the economic reforms, civil rights, constitutional reforms and administrative reforms. So you will be coming across all the four demands in the next class. Thank you.